Hello all, it is John back with another video. For Assetto Corsa for all PlayStation, PC, and Xbox, one of the main attractions of the game, it's the amazing drifting that the game does offer. You have a great variety of drifting tracks and great variety of drifting cars in the sim racing title. And today I would like to go over the best drifting tracks in the game that'll offer you the best time, the best challenge, and the best development as a drifting sim racer. Brands Hatch is a very good track to drift your car. All of the corners have a unique curve, which means they are great for sliding a car around them. There is a good mix of high to low speed corners from the hairpin to the first and final corner. Now, the only gripe I can really say about Brands Hatch is that the circuit is quite short, and since we are talking specifically about the indie version, it is going to get quite repetitive after even 3 minutes of drifting around because each lap will not take that long and there are not that many corners to drift around. The Catalunya Moto Circuit is also another very good track to drift around. All of the corners do have quite a unique curve to them, which does make it fun and challenging to slide around, and there are quite a few great spots for transitions on this circuit. Now, I am speaking of specifically the Moto version because of the final sector. On the GP circuit used for most series like Formula 1, you have quite a few simple 90-degree turns, which are, while you can slide around them, it isn't as unique or as challenging as the two fast right-hand sweepers that you get with the old school Moto circuit, and it just makes the flow so much better as the final chicane really kills it on this track, and that goes for both drifting and racing. The Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps is one of my favorite tracks to drift around. One of the main attractions to the circuit is the massive elevation change as you wind through the mountains of Belgium. The circuit has amazing flow, some of the best of any of the other tracks on this list, and it's also a very good challenge. Trying to slide a car through Eau Rouge is something that is very hard to recreate in any other tracks. Same thing goes for corners like Pouan, which you really have to finesse the corner and be extremely precise to drift. There's a good challenge, it's great fun, and it's also extremely rewarding to drive. Very good track to drift on all around. Another fun and exciting track to drift around would be the Nürburgring GP GT circuit. Now, this track is very narrow in some parts, which means that you do have to be precise on your steering and throttle, which offers up a very good challenge. Drifting through famous corners like the Schumacher S, trying to make that transition and speed perfect, is something that will have you failing and trying all over again until you succeed. And when you do succeed, it is extremely rewarding. Now, for the Nürburgring GP circuit, I am speaking of the GT or Endurance variant, because while the normal final chicane, just like Catalunya, you can drift around, the Endurance version does offer more of a curve to it, and it does have more flow, and it's at higher speeds, so you can slide a car around it. Maybe not easier, but it is more fun and more challenging than the normal final hairpin on the circuit. The next circuit in this video is Zandvoort. It is a very high speed, very narrow track with gravel traps all around to punish mistakes if they do happen, and on this track they will happen. It has a great mix of corners from low speed hairpins to long high speed sweepers with very tricky braking zones. It also has very good flow, so when you do chain corners together, it feels like it was meant to be that way, and it feels good. Something that some tracks in Assetto Corsa do lack, and that's not the game's fault, that's more so the track's fault. When you do nail a perfect lap in Zandvoort, it is a very rewarding experience, as that's something that does not happen often because of the tricky nature of the track, the elevation change you'll have to deal with, and the gravel traps that punish mistakes when they do happen. Silverstone is another one of my favorite tracks to drift in Assetto Corsa. It is one of the most well-renowned and famous racetracks in the world, especially British tracks, and it has a great mix of high-speed corners and low-speed corners as well. Trying to nail a slide through Maggots and Beckets while having to manage things like weight transfer, angle, and throttle. It's a very challenging yet very rewarding experience once you do get it right. It forces you to hone your skills in things like transitioning or maintaining the right angle and throttle to nail a corner properly due to its unique nature as a circuit. Now, this track does lack a bit of elevation change, but this is mitigated by the fact that each and every corner at Silverstone is very unique and very challenging in its own right. The next circuit on this list is one that I will probably butcher many times. Meiguan is one of the best tracks for drifting in Assetto Corsa. Now, it is fairly short, while not as much so as Brands Hatch. The lap does happen very quickly, which is good for repetition because of the great mix of corners that you do get. Now, these corners are mostly low to mid speed and do offer great variety in what they offer for drifting. Now, there is a very good switchback section in the latter stages of the lap, which is one of the things that elevates it so high in this list. It is a great way to practice your switchbacks, great way to practice your transitions, just an overall fun time and a real hoot to drive. In Assetto Corsa, the Volmugna track is one of, if not the best drifting circuit in the game. For drifting, you can choose either the club or full version, depending on what you're looking for in the track. The full version offers more high-speed corners than the club version, and does have more of a variety in what you get, because you still get most of the club version with the add-on of an extra section of the circuit. Now, the club version is still very good for drifting, and offers more mid to low speed, full-view corners that are very good for sliding. When I started drifting, this was the track that I drifted at the most in the BMW M5. It's a very good track to learn on because you do have two very good corners for drifting in the first and second corner. You have a very nice chicane, and then you have a very long right hand turn that's very challenging with a grandma trap on the outside as a final turn to really mix up the lap, and it really forces you to hone your drifting skills in a very good way. Another one of, if not the best drifting circuits in Assetto Corsa, would be Mugello. This is a very flowing track, more so than any other track previously mentioned on this list in my opinion. You get a big variety of extremely unique corners on this circuit. And this circuit is also very long, meaning that you do have the space to include lots of very unique corners, and each of them, as I've previously said, do offer a unique challenge. This track also features very unique elevation change. Some of the corners are off camera, some of the corners are banks, some of them are uphill, and some of them are downhill. You will find lots of different challenges in this track and lots of different ways to get through corners that you will have to recalibrate and reset for each coming corner when you are driving around the track. Now, I do have some honorable mentions that I must shout out for this video. The first of those would be the Nordschleife. Now, I didn't include it in this video because it definitely does not follow the racetrack status quo. It is extremely long, and while it does offer a very good challenge for drifters, I felt that it doesn't really fit what I was looking to include in this video as a racetrack. Now, the next two are kind of joint honorable mentions. These are the Highland and the Black Cat Country roads that you can drive on in Assetto Corsa. Now, obviously, these are not racetracks, so they would not have made the list. However, both of these roads are very fun to drift on, and the Black Cat Country offers a short variant with a tailgate section that is very challenging and very unique in the way that you do have to slide through it. Both of these tracks do have very fun sections for donuts, with the Black Cat Countries being just after the pit lane, and the Highlands Drift Circuit featuring a dedicated spot to do donuts and power slides around. Both very fun and both very good times in my opinion. Well, those are my picks for the best drifting tracks in Assetto Corsa. I think I ended up naming pretty much every single track in the game, but if there is one that I missed out that you quite enjoy, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Anyway, thanks for tuning into this video. Thanks for watching. Any support is always appreciated. Anyway, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive. This is me, signing off. Peace out.